From Folsom Field on the campus of the University of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, it's the Sooners of Oklahoma against the Buffaloes of Colorado. Hello, everybody. I'm Stu Nahan, along with Herb Brown, and we bid you welcome to ESPN's coverage of the Sooners and the Buffaloes, Colorado and Oklahoma, getting the Big 8 Conference underway. Defense has to be the key for Colorado to try and stop a tough Oklahoma offense.
Starts with the linebackers, Stu. Bob Humble and Steve Doolittle, both a couple of tough kids. They've got to be very active and handle the wishbone.
Now, when you talk about offense, no matter where you go, you talk about Oklahoma offense, you talk about J.C. Watt, their quarterback, who can do almost everything that is possible on that football field.
There have been better runners at Oklahoma, like a Mildren or a Davis, but never a better passer. When he throws, it's usually for touchdowns because it's all play action.
Oklahoma's smarting a little bit. They lost at home for the first time in 4 years last week to Stanford. And Colorado right now trying to get on the winning side after losing their first 3. We'll be right back right after this. Barry Switzer, head coach for the University of Oklahoma, a one-time assistant to Chuck Fairbanks. With his back to you in the white shirt, Fairbanks coached at Oklahoma, went to the New England Patriots, came to Colorado last year. 3-8 in his first year, trying to turn things around. There are the officials for today's game. McClintock from Des Moines is the referee. Gilzaris and Shures and the rest of the gentlemen, all officials here for this Big 8 conference opener between the Buffaloes of Colorado and the Sooners of Oklahoma. The Buffaloes won the toss. They have chosen to receive, will defend the goal to our left. So Oklahoma will be kicking off from right to left. Placing the ball down will be Michael Keeling, number 99, a sophomore from Dallas. He'll be doing the kicking off. Colorado will have Walter Stanley, Lindell Hawkins, and Lance Olander deep to receive. Number 32, whom we're looking at right now, is Stanley. Beautiful afternoon in Boulder, Colorado, about 25, 28 miles north of the city of Denver. A beautiful fall afternoon here in October. A little bit warm for this time of year. Temperature right now, mid-70s. Oklahoma leads in this series 25-8 with one tie. They started playing each other in 1912. They've been playing regularly since 1950. In the end zone, Stanley. 10. Almost broke it at the 20. Got it out to the 23-yard line. And the initial hit was made in there by Brian Hall, number 21. So let's set up the Buffaloes of Colorado for you at offense. Charles Davis, number 19, will be the quarterback. Lance Olander, 29. Mike Green, number 23, along with Lindell Hawkins, will be the running backs. They go with a fullback, a halfback, and a wingback. Oklahoma with a 5-2 defense. 1st and 10 at the 22. The handoff goes to Mike Green. To the 28-yard line, picked up about 5 yards. Let's pick up the rest of the offensive team for you for Colorado. Regis Harden is a split end. Bob Sebro, left tackle, 74. Doug Cranefuel, number 66, is at guard. Rich Humphrey, 51, is the center. Ardale Johnson, the other guard, 61. Roger Gunter, the other tackle, 75. Bob Najolik is the tight end, number 84. It's 2nd and 5. Green again, a little short of a first down. Initially hit in there by Mike Coast, weak side linebacker. Let's pick up the defense now for Oklahoma. They go with a 5-2. That's your front defensive core. Weddington, Dawson, Lewis, Turner. The strong side linebacker is Breathitt. The weak side is Mike Coast, who just made the tackle. There's your defensive secondary. Banks, Lowell, Hayworth, and Paul. 3rd down, about 1.5 yards to go. We've just begun play. Pull up a chair and spin it. Time with us, Oklahoma and Colorado from Boulder. A loss on the play. They did not pick up the first down. That was Lance Olander, brought down by Mr. Breathitt. Sherdell Breathitt. Now, so it did not pick up a first down. 4th down, they'll need about 2. So Oklahoma holds on the first series. And into the punting for the Buffaloes now. Number 29 is Lance Olander. Back deep. Basil Banks is the deep man. At the 27. and hit and bumped down at about the 39-yard line. Basil Banks, and he took a pretty good hit when he got down there. It was Greg Willett who got to him, a backup tight end. It was a 43-yard punt with a 12-yard return. So we'll take a look now at the Sooners, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. There they are. J.C. Watts, the quarterback. Wilson, Winters, and Overstreet in the backfield with him. Receivers, Rhodes and Valora. There's your offensive line for the Oklahoma Sooners. Their first offensive possession. Winters got about 3 or 4. Across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. Now let's pick up the Colorado defense. They go with Harrison, Ralph, and Perry up front. They go with a 3-4 defense. Your linebackers, Butler, Hardison, Doolittle, and Humble. And the safeties are Woods, Chase, Lillo, and Stampley. Woods normally plays weak side safety. He's playing cornerback because of an injury. And J.C. picks up the first down. He was hit by Ellis Woods as he went by, but his momentum took him across midfield down to the Colorado 47-yard line. First down, Oklahoma. J.C. Watts, 5'11", 193-pound junior. He's a senior now from Eufaula, Oklahoma. What do you think Oklahoma going to do, Herb, to start this thing off now?
Let's take a look at the fullback on the left side and see if we're guessing correct.
Big hole to the second man through is Overstreet. And David is down to the 35-yard line, 36-yard line, close to another first down. Hit there by Ellis Wood.
Overstreet is a great back who has played in the shadow of Peacock and Billy Sims. He runs hard, the second man through. The Sooners still get off the football very fast, and they pick up excellent yardage here.
He got 10. He got a first down. David Overstreet, number 22. First down, Oklahoma at the Colorado 37. Well, that was a handoff to Stanley Wilson, and he was hit immediately there by Bob Humble. Humble came up from his weak side linebacking position and made a pretty good stop on Wilson with his first carry. Wilson, number 32, out of Carson, California. No gain on the play. We'll call it second down and 10.
Bobby Humble is a Colorado kid, played some high school ball in Texas, transferred here for his senior year. He's a fullback who has converted to defense and done an excellent job.
Second and 10. The pitch comes on the near side, a lot of room. That is Overstreet, and he's finally bumped out of bounds at the 16-yard line. It'll be an Oklahoma first down. Ellis Wood was the man that bumped him out, saved a touch there. Went from the 32 to the 16. That's a 16-yard gain and a first down, and Oklahoma is driving on their first possession.
Overstreet is an excellent back. Stampley is limping. He'll come off the field as they will make a replacement. The bread and butter of the wishbone, just a lead option, and Overstreet does have excellent speed and picks up tremendous yardage on that play.
You said Stampley was hurt. He goes out. Kent Davis, a freshman from Miami of Florida, comes in, number 8, at the right corner position for Colorado. Colorado has a young ball club. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores.
They really do, Stu. It's a ball club of the future. The freshmen that they have is... See, the Iowa State is off to an extremely fast start.
Look at that Overstreet at the 6-yard line, brought down by Brad Chase. Overstreet with tremendous momentum. He's 5'11", 190-pound senior. His hometown is Big Sandy, Texas. David Overstreet.
Second man through, the guard Crouch and the tackle Culver really fire off a double team down there. Whew. You talk about a collision. Oklahoma showing their power right there with Overstreet as he really takes on Brad Chase.
They'll do some measuring here. Has to get down to about the 6. They set it down. Referee John McClintock, the white hat, number 8. You can see it's inches. So it'll be second down, less than a foot to go for a first down. Colorado trying to put up some sort of resistance here. Don't let Oklahoma run all over you on their first possession. Mark Washington in there now, defensive end, in place of Pete Perry, right side for Colorado. Overstreet got the first down to the 2-yard line. David Overstreet, the initial hit made by Kent Davis, number 8. And so Oklahoma has a first and goal to go situation. That is Overstreet.
Overstreet is really a good back. His forte has been blocking. As I mentioned, he has always been the second guy behind a Peacock or a Sims, but the kid can run. He's a tremendous professional prospect.
Trying to jump over was Chet Winters, and he's in. Touchdown. Chet Winters, sophomore from Jackson, Arkansas, takes it in there, and the Sooners get on the scoreboard on their first drive, which went something like 66 yards, 61 yards. Team touchdown by Chet Winters. The try for the extra point now, Michael Keeling, number 99. And Oklahoma has 7 points. Pitch out to Winters. Open field tackle. Excellent play over there. A fumble on the football, but the officials say the ball was dead. It was Brad Chase with a good open field tackle around the 25-yard line, short of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard for the Sooners. Driving.
Brad Chase is 6'1", 188, runs the 40 and 4.5, and that, as you described it, was an exceptional open field tackle. Faced right on the numbers and made the play.
Chase from Santa Ana, California, 6'1" senior, 188. Winters, first down Oklahoma to the 21-yard line. Steve Doolittle, number 38. Bob Humble, number 40. On the stop for the Buffaloes, but the Sooners have a first down at the 21-yard line.
Came up limping that time after carrying the football. Winters, number 40, will get a little relief here from
Steve Rhodes.
Steve Rhodes, I beg your pardon, Rhodes is just in with the play, so Winters will stay in and just suck it up.
In the slot to the left is Winters. Now he moves to the near side. Pitch goes to Overstreet. Overstreet dragging Davis with him. Takes him down to the 10-yard line, close to another first down.
Came with the toss sweep that time by sending Winters in motion. It loosened the strong safety up a little bit, and Overstreet picked up the first.
All right, Winters is coming out now. George Rhymes is coming in, and Herbert Young, number 23, is in for Overstreet. They're going to give them a little breather here. Got a situation here where a coach is coaching against his former pupil. First down. As you all are undoubtedly aware, or most of you, Fairbanks was the head coach at Oklahoma. Barry Switzer was one of 9 former assistant coaches under Fairbanks who are now head coaching at a major college or in professional football. Switzer in his 8th season at Oklahoma after he replaced Fairbanks in February of '73. First down Sooners. They're at the Colorado 11-yard line, leading 7-0, trying to have some more. Big pile up as they get across the 10. It was Don Ralph who was in there to make the hit. Getting up slowly in the middle of that pile is Stanley Wilson. He was the ball carrier out of Carson, California.
Danny Ralph is a Colorado kid from North Glen, Colorado. He's 6'2", 224, a sophomore. Kind of the Iron Man for this ball club. They've had so many injuries, but Ralph has been in on most of the snaps in the 3 previous games.
A play brought in by Steve Rhodes, replacing Bobby Grayson. The receivers bringing in the plays. Here's Watt. And it was Herbert Young who fell on the ball. Brad Chase fell on him on the pitch out from Watt. There are advantages and there are disadvantages of that bone.
Well, that's very true. This is the counter option this time. Watt, they pull a guard down the line, reads the end. The pitch was right there, Stu. He just couldn't find the handle. It is a high-risk offense, and Oklahoma traditionally drops it a lot in the early part of the year. They always seem to be able to make the plays when they face Nebraska in November.
It's 3rd down now to 15. He lost 5. Back on the taking the pitch out from J.C. Watt, goes to 15 yards, and the Sooners have their second touch.
Rhymes is a very fluid runner. It was a tough recruiting battle between CU and Oklahoma, and finally at the last minute, Buster Rhymes winds up at Oklahoma. The reason the play goes so well is number 22 Overstreet makes the lead block on the corner out there, stays with the block long enough, and Rhymes, a very fluid runner, as I mentioned, is able to get to the corner of the end zone.
The try for the extra point now. Michael Keeling, the barefooted kicker, puts it up. And Oklahoma has its 14th point. So, with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to play here in this first quarter, the Sooners have taken the possession of the football twice, and they have scored twice. And they are now leading the Buffaloes of Colorado 14-0. Along the ESPN trail, along with Herb Brown, I'm Stu Nahan. We hope that you're enjoying our telecast from here in the beautiful city of Boulder, Colorado. There is not a cloud in the sky. Temperature in the mid-70s. 52,000 folks here. And that's the story on Colorado so far this year. 111 points to its 7 points in the first half.
Interestingly enough, Stu, the Sooners of Oklahoma did not score against Kentucky or Stanford in the first half. They really have kind of been struggling. And in all fairness to them, they played on a rainy day in Norman, Oklahoma against Stanford. The temperature about 50 degrees. And looking at this ball club on film, you just feel that they're a good club. And, of course, the first few moments of this quarter have proven that.
Sooners went 81 yards, 10 plays. Took about 5 minutes to do it. There's the story. It says 12 plays right there. We correct ourselves. 12 plays. And Mr. Keeling going to put his foot to action once again. Again, it is Stanley deep. That's Michael Keeling, the young man, a freshman out of Dallas. And he gets all of it. Stanley, 2 yards deep. Look out, he may go. This is going to be a 100-yarder if he makes it. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the... Walter Stanley, a freshman out of the city of Chicago, Illinois. We give him 102 yards unofficially. He took it 2 yards deep.
I'll tell you, Stu, this is a kid that they felt would be an excellent ball player when he came to the University of Colorado. He showed you that great speed. He is the fastest man on the Buffalo team. Give credit to his teammates. They formed the wall up around the 20-yard line. They knocked off the people that they had to. And Stanley has brought this crowd and this ball club to life. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a 14-6 game. And CU is definitely back in this thing.
Wow. He's only 18 years old. He won't turn 19 till November. The try for the extra point now as Colorado tries to cut the lead in half. Tom fields up and is up, and it's good. The sophomore from River Falls, Wisconsin, gets Colorado's 7th point. And we've got ourselves a 14-7 ball game. Colorado exploding on a 102-yard kickoff return. Look at it one more time, Herb.
No substitute for speed, and this kid can fly. Gets good blocking up the middle, and then it's just easy as he cuts to the right. This kid can run the 40 and 4.4, just outruns everybody. You got to remember, the Oklahoma Sooners have great speed. Number 3 chasing there is Marion Walker, a DB, who also runs 4.4. But Mr. Stanley gets his ball club going, and this crowd is still excited. They love it.
Oh. That changed the complexion of this ball game in a hurry. 14-7 Oklahoma now. It will be field kicking off. Oklahoma deep as Marion Walker, number 3, for George Rhymes. Also got Banks back there, Basil Banks. We only got 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And we've had 3 touchdowns in the first 12 minutes of this football game.
It's called lighten them up, and they are.
2 touchdowns in 12 seconds, actually. They try an onside kick. Goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Colorado trying to surprise the elements here. An onside kick, Torrey, who was the closest to it, as Chuck Fairbanks looks out from the far sidelines. It'll be Oklahoma's ball. Well, I don't recall the last time I remember an onside kick effort in the first quarter.
I'll tell you, it was a great call. They had the left tackle of Oklahoma pull him out of there, but they just don't come up with it. But I'll tell you, the crowd appreciates the effort. They're fired up, and that's the one thing that you've got to do against Oklahoma is really fire up, because they're going to out-horse you.
All right, we've got Weldon Ledbetter, number 43, is a running back in place of Stanley Wilson, along with Overstreet and Winters. This is Rhymes. George Rhymes is in there in place of Winters. He scored that touchdown for Oklahoma just before the kickoff return. And he's hit by Steve Doolittle, but not before he's able to advance that football across the 35 to the 37-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
The Sooners using a lot of second back through as they try to keep those linebackers sucked in, and Doolittle able to make the play.
Grayson splits wide to the right side. Overstreet across midfield to the 47-yard line. First down, Oklahoma. The hit by Scott Hardison, the right side outside linebacker from Pomona, number 55.
Seldom used play in the wishbone, the toss sweep. Mainly it's excellent ball handling. That time they go with something sure, and of course when you got a runner the caliber of Overstreet, he makes it look easy.
First down, Oklahoma. They're at the Colorado 47. The Sooners lead it 14-7. We're just rolling down to 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. J.C. Watt complete to Valora. First down at the 33. Ellis Wood with the hit.
That is quite a collision out there. Wood is a tough kid, but I'll guarantee you Valora is the guy you want to go down an alley with.
They got shaken up too there. Ellis Wood is the injured Buffalo, but let's take a look at this play again. Watch this.
This is Doolittle going the wrong way, and then he finds out what's going on with the play action, follows Valora across the middle. The play was well executed, and Doolittle into the chase. We'll give some help right here. There's the hit by Ellis Wood, and Doolittle is there to give him a hand.
Making contact there with Wood. Wood's only 183 pounds. He's given away about 40 pounds, 45 or so. Wood is a local product. He's from right here in Boulder. Went to Centaurus High School. First down. Fumble on the football. Still rolling around. I heard a whistle. See, Colorado's got it back. Kent Davis has the football, but I believe they ruled it dead when the ball hit the ground and the players hit the ground. Overstreet somewhere around the 27-yard line. That's what it is. It is still Oklahoma's ball.
Buffalo coaching staff really wanted that turnover. They felt it was an early whistle, and they wanted to stop that momentum. Overstreet, the second man through, plays paratrooper here, a la Billy Sims. We get a whistle about right there, and the ball does pop out. I believe the official had the correct call.
Well, we're 1-1 with the replays on the official, sir. You being an official, you're gonna keep me in check, aren't you? Huh? Big hole, big opener, real quick like for Ledbetter. Hit by Bod Humble, but Ledbetter able to get it across the 20-yard line. Another first down.
Galen Hall, the offensive coordinator, very intelligent. He's been giving it to the second man through. That time leads with the fullback and picked up big yardage.
It is 1st and 10 Oklahoma. We've got 54 seconds to play and counting in the first quarter. Sooners lead at 14-7, but the crowd here at Boulder electrified by a 102-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Mr. Stanley. Ledbetter again. Stone wall. Dan Ralph, the big nose tackle, in to make the stop.
This is Danny Ralph against Bill Beckhold. Ralph down low. That good 4-point stance actually is going to win the battle here. He stands Beckhold up, makes the play. An excellent effort by Danny Ralph out of North Glen, Colorado.
6'4", 228, a sophomore. A gain of 2 by Ledbetter. Second down, 8. 8 seconds to play in the quarter. In motion, Rhyme. Watt flips to Rhyme. He'll go. Touchdown, because a Colorado Buffalo and I believe it was Brad Chase, fell down. There was nobody near him. At about the 8-yard line, Chase is holding his right ankle. Now he's all right. But George Rhymes gets his second touchdown of the afternoon, and the Buffaloes lead at 21 or 20-7.
Counter option with Buster Rhymes. I'll tell you, this is a great prospect. This is the guy that everybody wanted. Here's the pitch by Watts. Rhymes turns it upfield. Overstreet is blocking on Chase. There's Chase going down, and Rhymes streaks to the end zone. This is a fine freshman, 185 pounds, very fluid. You'll hear a lot about him.
The try for the extra point now. Keeling's kick is up, and it's good. And it's a 21-7 Oklahoma lead here, the last play of the first quarter. All right, we're I want to show this play again, Irv. Watch now with Watts. Is this a forward lateral? Is this a pass? What is this?
Well, I'll tell you, if it's a pass, you got to make sure those linemen aren't downfield, and I saw a guard get downfield, so if it was a pass, that play wasn't quite legal because the ball was definitely pitched forward.
That's the second time we've caught an official taking a boo-boo here today.
You're keeping score.
2. Okay. Here we go. Ready to go once again. Colorado going to get possession of that football one more time. And it is Kelly Johnson, number 4, the deep man in the end zone for the first time for Colorado. Juggles. They say don't run it out. I didn't see Stanley back there. I don't know. He get winded.
Well, I wonder if he nicked himself up a little bit after that long touchdown run on the kickoff.
The last one.
Yeah.
In any case, it's going to be a touchback brought back out to the 20-yard line. We have just begun the second quarter play. Along with Herb Brown, I'm Stu Nahan, and we're here at Boulder at Folsom Field, campus of University of Colorado. That's the story. Colorado with a 3rd and 25 on their own 30-yard line. Third passing attempt. Harden was in front and dropped the ball at the 35-yard line. Harden got behind Brian Paul and Steve Hayworth, the free safety and the right cornerback. Would have made a heck of a catch, and he caught it. Pretty good effort.
Really was. It was an excellent pattern. Chuck Fairbanks does run some excellent stuff. Harden had the play. Ball was just a shade beyond his reach, and it was an excellent effort.
4th down, 25, kicking situation. Lance Olander to do the punting. That's the story on his punts, averaging almost 50 yards a kick. At the 30. A fumble, and Colorado's got it back. Banks fumble the football. Number 81 for the Colorado Buffaloes has it back. That's Doug Cranepool. A 42-yard punt. A fumble by Banks. A recovery by the Buffaloes. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Look at it again.
What a break right there.
Stripped of it right there.
That's Ellis Wood that makes the hit. And then Cranepool comes up with a recovery. Stu, they're down 21-7. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Chuck Fairbanks come with play action on the first call.
Let's see how right you are. The ball is at the 38-yard line of Oklahoma. First time that the Buffaloes have been in Oklahoma territory. You got it. Lofts it long for Harden. It is knocked away. Interference is called. Interference is called on Brian Paul. Number 27, the right cornerback, interfered with the intended receiver, Reggie Harden. It'll be a 1st and goal to go on the 1-yard line.
Reggie Harden had the pattern before. Gene Hochaber, who's the offensive coordinator, who's right next to us in the booth, apparently spotted Paul coming up a little quick. They go with it the first play. Paul was a starter as a freshman, got injured, and then kind of lost his aggressiveness for a while. Is back in the action again, but that's a fine call by the Colorado Buffaloes with 10:35 left. They're right in this thing.
Costly interference call. It's a 34-yard gain. They'll spot it on the 3, actually, so make it a 31-yard gain. 1st and goal to go. Hung on to by Charles Davis, and he's fallen upon at the 2-yard line. Brian Paul in there, along with Johnny Lewis. Flag is down. This is only the second penalty of the game. We've had a holding call against Colorado. This, we'll wait and see. We're not going to do any conjecturing there. You can see the quarterback, Charles Davis, there. It appears to be against Oklahoma. They'll go half the distance to the goal, about 1.5 yard line. And the call is for face mask.
Charlie Davis, the second man through, and the man that makes the hit here is Johnny Lewis, the middle guard. So CU with an excellent opportunity about 1.5 yards away from the goal line.
The momentum of Willie Beebe carried him in. Touchdown, Colorado. Willie Beebe went in and then was pushed back out, but he crossed that invisible plate. And the Buffaloes are right back in it again with their second touchdown of the afternoon. Beebe in for the injured Mike Green.
They go off the left side, Stu. They go behind Bobby Sebro and Doug Craneville. Beebe up and over. The backers will stack you here, but he has enough to get into the end zone. See you right back in this thing.
Point. Fields' kick is up, and Fields' kick is good. It's a 7-point ball game with 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go. So the Buffaloes of Colorado capitalize on a fumble punt. And they go 35 yards to score. The key play being the interference call against Hardin. And 52,000 fans that are jammed here, a lot of them with the shirts off because we got a 75-degree day. Seeing themselves a heck of a football game. We'll promise you that the air is going to be filled with football on Wednesday, October the 8th. Two of the Canadian Football League's highest scoring teams meet head-on ESPN. Edmonton Eskimos, led by quarterback Warren Moon, who used to throw them for the University of Washington, and Tom Wilkinson. And they meet pass-happy Dieter Brock and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, October the 8th. Canadian football right here on ESPN. And let me tell you, that is exciting football.
Boy, they really get after it. I'll tell you, somebody's always moving. I love it.
You know what I like about that rule in Canadian football? There's one rule there that I really think they ought to put in either the college or pro ranks in this country and have. You can go in either way. You can have more than one guy in motion at the line.
I love it.
Great. I think it's great. Deep for Oklahoma now, George Rhymes. Fumble. Still fumble. Look out, baby. You're in trouble back on the 2-yard line. And the man that fumbled that football, couldn't hang on to it, was Darryl Sanji. Deep in the hole. Hit initially by Salvador. Look at this.
Sanji just can't find a handle, and actually when he got hit, he kicks it once here. When he got hit here, I thought he might drop it again. Stu, Oklahoma's not punted the football yet, and yet Colorado is in this football game, only down 7, got them deep in their own territory. If they can dig in a little bit on defense, this thing could really get interesting.
Colorado did not have a first down in the first quarter. They had a 102-yard kick return touchdown by Wallace Stanley. They capitalized on that fumble recovery. Look out! There goes Overstreet. He could go. 40, 50. Only one man could get him at the 20. And he finally does get him around the 13-yard line as Tim Stampley saved it for Colorado. And he comes back limping. He had gone out earlier. Stampley saved the touchdown. How long was the run? We'll tell you in a minute. The line of scrimmage was about the 5.
The explosiveness of Oklahoma. David Overstreet, a great athlete, finally caught as he looks back. 9 carries, 161 yards, and he eats them up pretty quick. Finally caught by Stampley.
83 yards on that carry. Flag is down. Overstreet went out to get a breath of respiration there, and Herbert Young is in at number 23 to replace him after that 83-yard run. Boy, did they get out of that hole in a hurry.
That's what they do to you, Stu. You know, people have felt sorry for Oklahoma this year, that maybe they're a little down. I don't believe that. They have got excellent talent again. They just haven't put this exciting wishbone offense together yet. They've dropped it a few times. They've made some mistakes, but it's still a very talented team.
4 penalties, all called against Colorado. I don't believe that's correct, fellas. I think there was a holding penalty against Colorado, I believe. But let's see. Overstreet has carried the ball for 161 yards. Wow. This is Reimer. Touchdown, Oklahoma. George Rhymes with his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. That's number 3. And Oklahoma has their 4th touchdown of the afternoon and once again lead for 13 points.
Steve Rhodes really tried Brad Chase up in the end zone just by keeping him busy. This is the basic play of the wishbone. The option, they break the bone this time. They'll come out of the eye. It just shows you how many ways that they can hurt you. Watch down the line, reads the defensive end, and here's Ryan in the end zone. Rhodes has just kept Chase busy. Chase comes up right here, but it's too late. You're not going to handle him one-on-one.
Keeling's drive with the extra point is good. So Oklahoma was back on their own 3 after that fumble kick. And in just 3 plays, they go 97 yards. And they're up by 14 again. 28-14 is the score. 9:52 to play in the first half. We have had 6 touchdowns.
Well, we've had
15 and 5. That's 20 minutes. We've had 6 touchdowns.
We've had over 100-yard kickoff return. We've seen Overstreet break just a beauty when his ball club was socked in. Stu, I tell you, people are going to be very much aware of David Overstreet this year. I hate to be a broken record, but playing in the shadow of Billy Sims, who is so sensational. There's the story right there of the scoring drive, but Overstreet is just an exceptional back, and people only knew about his blocking ability up until this season. That's going to change.
Look at that, Herb. 27 seconds, 96 yards, 2 plays. You know who's back deep to receive? There he is, Walter Stanley. He's the young man who broke his last kick return for 102 yards and a touchdown. Keeling, number 99, the barefooted kicker from Dallas. Stanley, 2 yards deep. It's an outside movement spill to the 33-yard line. And a saving tackle there by Keeling. The kicker was the one that saved the touchdown.
He had to do it without a shoe, because I'll tell you what, Stanley was throwing him some great moves. Hey, this Stanley's going to be something else. Look at this kid run the football. Takes it deep in the end zone. Once again, Colorado doing a good job on special teams. Here's the break. He breaks the initial thrust. And here's the kicker without his shoe, staying right in there and making the hit. It's not exactly a form tackle, but he got it done.
Hey, he got the job done. It's great. 37-yard line, Buffalo has the ball. In the open, overthrow. Kelly Johnson, a freshman from Carlsbad, Colorado, had beaten his man Hayward way downfield, but the pass was overthrown. Did you tell me that quarterback, Charles Davis, has got a sore shoulder?
Supposed to have a sore shoulder. Didn't show it that time on that post pattern. And Johnson just beats the zone coverage right here. The ball is overthrown. Davis threw it a ton, Stu. Boy, as you can see, it was a touchdown if they could have connected. So Colorado coming out with an excellent play selection there.
2nd and 10. In trouble is Davis. Behind the line of scrimmage, lost a couple. Orlando Flanagan, a backup junior defensive end out of Compton, California, made the hit on the 34-yard line. A loss of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 14. Kelly Johnson in. Reggie Harden goes out. All right, we've got 9 minutes to play in the half. It's 28-14 Oklahoma. Big play for Colorado. Lofts it up in the air. Intercepted by Gary Lowell. He's back to the Colorado 43-yard line. Liddell Hawkins makes the hit. And the Buffaloes have turned away. Their first turnover committed there. And it is Oklahoma's ball now at the Colorado 43-yard line.
Tried to hit Olander coming out of the backfield. Actually, the pass was poorly thrown. He just lost it into coverage. Olander will get hurt on this play as he takes a shot. And there's the interception. There really wasn't much to it. Number 25 back there, Lowell, was just playing like a center fielder, and it was cake.
Gary Lowell, a sophomore, strong side safety out of Sherman, Texas. Their normal strong safety starter is Ken Sitton, but he's hurt. It's been one injury after another, I was going to say, for Colorado, and obviously you can see he's lost his air here. Yeah, so Olander, I'm sure, will return. This has been a very durable back for him, Stu. Has been their leading rusher all year long. There's Olander going off. What's the story on him?
Well, Lance Olander's from Arapahoe High School. They do just a little bit of everything. I mentioned he's the leading rusher for this ball club. He'll punt the football. He gives you 100%. Really has been a very durable back. It's been tough for Chuck Fairbanks. They haven't had a lot of speed, and Lance isn't very fast. But you talk about somebody who comes to play every day. He, by far, in my opinion, has been their best.
All right, after the interception by Lowell, Grayson splits wide to the left side. Full house backfield. J.C. Watt to Wilson. Down to the 30-yard line. Tim Stampley on the stop.
The Sooners have really changed over the years, Stu. Now they'll throw the ball a little bit. That time it was a screen, and a very well-executed screen. They don't come out and just run the ball at you. Here's a screen. Watts pitching it out here. A good block by Oklahoma by number 51, Bechtel, the center. And then you just get the excellent effort here by their running backs. That's Stampley on the hit.
That's a first down for Oklahoma. They're at the Colorado 30-yard line, leading at 28-14. 8.5 to play in the half. Overstreet upended as he gets across the 20 down to about the 17. And it was Tim Stampley who stopped him there.
Hold back.
J.C. Watts, 3 for 360 yards, too. That makes him the 5th best passer in all-time Oklahoma history. I tell you what, this kid has really done a job. He needed 48 yards, and he has gotten that, and plus 12 is now ahead of Jack Jacobs.
I don't remember Jack Jacobs. He's before I was born.
Well, you remember Mildren and Eddie Crowder,
who
just
Mildren,
came in
Jack
our booth.
Mildren.
Jack Mitchell.
Eddie Crowder went to Oklahoma, is now the athletic director at the University of Colorado. Overstreet out. Young is in now. Gang tackle at the 15-yard line, led by Larry Lillo. Doolittle also in there. Good pursuit. Good pursuit.
Larry Lillo was a quarterback when he first came to the University of Colorado. He's moved over to the defense, and he's done an excellent job. Got an opportunity to start today because of some injuries, and he's taken advantage of it.
Watts was shaking his right hand after that last tackle. Might have shaken up. He's staying right in there, though. Knifing his way through, Chet Winters. Inside the 10, hit by Ellis Wood. Should be enough for a 1st and goal to go for Oklahoma. It is. They'll spot it at the 8. There's Winters, number 40. Chet scored the first touchdown for the Sooners. The last 3 have been scored by his backup left halfback, the freshman George Rhymes. Watts is really flinging that right hand around. He might have banged it up on the play before this last one, and he keeps kind of shaking it like the circulation's numb there. Stanley Wilson, but waiting for him was Stan Hornick, a defensive end, a sophomore out of Stanton, Colorado. He has come in to replace Pete Perry, a defensive end for the Buffaloes, and he stood him up. There's the story of Mr. Watts. Great performance last year down in Miami, last New Year's Day.
Just gives them another dimension when you can throw the football. Oklahoma has always taken the philosophy passing for cowards. Not with Watts, they'll throw it.
2nd down goal at the 9. Winters. Late call, but they say it's a touchdown. Brad Chase hit him, and Winters gets his 2nd touchdown. So the left halfbacks between them have scored 5 touchdowns for Oklahoma today. Rhymes has 3. Winters now gets his second.
Here's the toss sweep. Well, you talk about using that limp leg in the spin. There's a good jump. Reminds you of Billy Sims. Steps out, and then he'll give you the spin right here. And, boy, they have it down. Great talent in that Oklahoma backfield. You got an opportunity to see one of them in the form of Winters.
That's Barry Switzer, coach of the Oklahoma Sooners on the near side. The kick is no good. Keeling's kick partially blocked. So it is a 34-14 ball game. As the Sooners, after the interception by Lavelle, they go 42 yards in 8 plays. And with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this first half, that's your score. Oklahoma 34, Colorado 14. Gain 2, 2nd and 8. Overstreet. I believe Colorado's got it. They do. Overstreet couldn't hang on the pitch. And on the bottom of that pile, number 94, Mark Shoup, a sophomore defensive end from Greeley, Colorado. You know what high school he went to?
Greeley Central.
West.
Greeley West he went to. How
like
about
Horace
that?
Greeley, go West.
Okay. Mark Shoup. Excellent pursuit that time. The Buffaloes get a break. 45 seconds with Essington. You got to believe it. No, Charlie Davis back in.
Oklahoma has fumbled the ball 3 times. Oklahoma has lost the ball 3 times today. Reverse. Rock. There's going to be a face mask call. Kelly Johnson. Kelly Johnson was grabbed by Basil Banks by the face mask, almost took his head off as he went by, and there's going to be a penalty mark for a face mask.
Johnson runs 109.4. The play that looked like it was going to be a disaster because of the penetration by Oklahoma actually turns into a plus after the face mask. Look at this Johnson. Now, he gets a great block right here, Stu. Well, you talk about a cartilage shot right there by Charlie Davis, the quarterback. And Johnson will come over to the sideline trying to get out of bounds, gets the face mask.
Oh.
Well, I tell you, that's how you get the injuries right there. Give me the old days where there were no face masks, no spine injuries. We've got a player down at the about the 44-yard line for the
Sooner, yeah. Getting up slowly. It's a lineman. 95 is Johnny Lewis, the junior nose guard from Florida. Coming off under his own power, hobbling a bit.
Charles Davis sure broke a myth there that quarterbacks will not block anybody because he peeled back and permitted that play to go. Colorado's got a chance to get in the end zone instead of being back at midfield.
Or you tack on the 15-yard penalty and you're inside the 14-yard line. Davis in trouble. Throws it anyway, and Olander was the closest man. I think he was looking for Hawkins, but Blake got to him along with Steve Whaley, the defensive end. Because they had Hawkins going in motion to the right. That stopped the clock with 16 seconds to go in the half. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. 34-14. Oklahoma leads Colorado. Along with Herb Brown, I'm Stu Nahan. And we hope that you're enjoying our telecast on ESPN as we look at Chuck Fairbanks and his quarterback, Charles Davis, having a conversation here as a timeout has been called.
Colorado has had success today throwing the post pattern from their left side, running a left to right type of a pattern. Let's see if Chuck is thinking that.
2 out of 6 for 9 yards. Time remaining. Perfect football day. I think, is it warmer here with this time of year today than it normally is?
Yeah, it really is. It's
about 75.
It's beautiful. Yep. It really is.
Second down call. Willie Beebe trying to go straight ahead. And Shardell Brethett over there to nail him at the 10.
A lot of people probably wonder why stay on the ground, why the call. Oklahoma's been looping their tackles. doing a little in-tackle twist, and Chuck Fairbanks tries to catch him in a stunt, but the backer was able to close down.
Now some of the fans here you can see taking advantage of the warm Colorado sun. And remember, these folks here are a little closer to the sun than normal because they're 5,000 feet up, right?
That's right.
Some of the folks here, it's a beautiful, beautiful city of Boulder, Colorado. If you've never been here in this beautiful mountain air, I'll tell you, it's gorgeous. You're about 25, 28 miles north by northeast of Denver. Gorgeous. No wonder Eddie Crowder came to Oklahoma down here and never went back. Wide open. Touchdown, Reggie Harden. Hazel Banks was beaten in the corner. And it is Charles Davis connecting on a 10-yard touchdown throw to Reggie Harden. And the Buffaloes get their third touch in the afternoon.
It was a slow developing pattern. Davis goes back, looks to his right, finds a secondary receiver. Harden just somehow gets loose on the sidelines there. And all of a sudden, the University of Colorado Buffaloes take advantage of that fumble. And they're right back in this thing.
You know, Eddie Crowder respects quarterbacks very highly. Just nodded his head in approval at that throw that Charles Davis made.
It was a beauty.
Here's the try for the extra point by Tom Field. Colorado has his 21st point on the board. 34-21. And a lot of people thought that Oklahoma, snarling after that loss to Stanford last week, going to blow Colorado out. But the Buffaloes have stayed right in there. They're only 13 points back.
Well, it's really been interesting. Oklahoma, 4 seconds remaining, has not had to punt the football in this half, and yet Colorado stayed tough. Now, you take away that home run by Overstreet, and we really have ourselves a ballgame. We got ourselves a pretty good one anyway, Stu.
Right. I take away the fact Colorado didn't have a first down to the second quarter, beginning of this second quarter, and they've got 21 points on the board. Now, they tried an onside kick in the first quarter. He thinks they're not going to try it now with 4 seconds to go on the clock in the half. Let's see what Tom Field does.
Got to believe he'll make one of those big people handle the football around the 15-yard line. Don't give it to the burners back by the goal line.
Chuck Fairbanks is talking to one of the officials over there on the 45-yard line. Can he be trying something? They feel very, very high about this young Tom Field. He's out of River Falls, Wisconsin. He's only a sophomore, and they have a consensus that he might. Ball is batted in the air and knocked down immediately. Number 76 for Oklahoma got a hand up there. That would be Steve Williams.
Steve Williams from the state of Colorado went to Lakewood High School. They call him Dr. Death.
That took 1 second. There are 3 seconds to go. Tom Field's father, by the way, is the chancellor of the University of Wisconsin branch at River Falls, Wisconsin. And as the gun goes off, there's a little exchange on what's the best eating place after the game. Out there in the middle of the field, guys exchanging views on the foreign situation. And our first half is history here in this beautiful Folsom Stadium on the campus of the University of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, on ESPN. There's your score. Oklahoma 34, Colorado 21. We'll be right back.
Have you renewed your subscription to Sports Illustrated?
Irv, I quit 3 years ago. I got accustomed to what we're being dealt with right now.
Let's talk about the ball game in the first half. Are you surprised what's gone on?
Herb, I am a little bit surprised, and I tell you why. Our team is extremely young, inexperienced team. We're playing mostly sophomores and a lot of freshmen. And in the previous games against good opposition like Oklahoma is, they've made some mistakes and they would snowball on them, as you know. In this game, they've been more resilient. They're starting to show a little of that maturity that you expect, and they're a little more resilient than they have been. And So I'm encouraged by what we're seeing. I think the Oklahoma team is an excellent football team. They had a couple of mishaps last week in the rain down in Norman, but they're a good football team, and they're going to show that as the season goes along. But I'm pleased that we're in the game.
It is a high-risk offense, the Wishbone, and they have dropped it a few times. But I take a look at Overstreet and Rhymes, and all I see is more of a Billy Sims and an Elvis Peacock. They can really fly.
Yeah, Irv, I think this Buster Rhymes, their freshman, will eventually. I don't think he's quite Billy Sims, but nobody else.
Nobody is.
That's right. Not since OJ or something. But he is. Buster Rhymes is apparently a guy who is going to be in that class. I think as he gains a little experience and maturity, we'll see him be one of the great All-American players in the country.
The problems at the University of Colorado, they've been in print many times. No need to go into it. I think everybody is familiar who follows college athletics. How about the solution?
Or the solutions really aren't too difficult, honestly. We have financial problems that are related to some very heavy additional costs associated with capital construction. We built, as you know, a new events conference center, our basketball arena. That's costing us about $400,000 a year in debt service, and the cost of women's athletics added to our budget runs us up to almost $1 million additional expense a year. If you're going to spend $1 million more per year, you either got to cut expenses or generate additional revenue. We're doing some of both. The important thing in generating additional revenue is having an improved football team and basketball team, and I think we're well on the road to having both of those.
You've been listening to Eddie Crowder, the athletic director at the University of Colorado. We wish you the very best the second half. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after these messages.
It is still halftime here at Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. University of Colorado trailing University of Oklahoma 34-21. But still a half of a football game yet to be played. And we're going to give you a little rundown of what's happened here. It is all Oklahoma in the stats as well as the score. Oklahoma had 13 first downs. Colorado had none at the end of the first quarter. That's the story at the end of the half. Passing almost twice as much. In the background, you see Ralphie, the mascot of Colorado. Rushing, look at that. 21 yards rushing for Colorado. Oklahoma has, to use a term, shut them off but good. 309 for Oklahoma. 389 total yards to only 65 for Colorado. Penalty-wise, 4 times the Sooners have been nailed. Only once Colorado on a holding call. But it's 34-21. And despite those stats, which show that Oklahoma should be out in front by about 40-0, it's 34-21. And I'll tell you something right now, Irv, I kind of feel something that Colorado's going to make a run at the Sooners in this second half. I really do.
Well, Oklahoma, as we've pointed out a few times, too, they have had troubles early in the year dropping the football. And if they continue to drop it, it definitely will help the Buffs. You could be right.
Teams are now coming back on the field. Sooners and the Buffaloes. We've got a half of football yet to go here. And we will be back with the second half kickoff right after this. We're getting ready to start the second half of our ESPN contest. Oklahoma and Colorado, the big A opener for both teams. Along with Herb Brown, I'm Stu Nahan. And this time it will be Tom Field, number 3, kicking off for Colorado. Deep to receive for Oklahoma will be Berrien Walker, number 3. Number 4 is George Rhymes. Rhymes to the left and Walker to the right. 52,000 plus here at Folsom Field, right here on the campus. About 25 miles to the north by northeast of Denver on a very warm October afternoon. Temperature about 75 degrees. Our second half is underway. It could have been a field goal.
What?
Could have been a field goal. That thing went right through the uprights. It won't. Ball's coming back out to the 20-yard line. And there is head coach Chuck Fairbanks congratulating his kicker, number 3, Tom Field, for that excellent kickoff. So the Sooners out top by 13 points. Colorado scored just with 4 seconds to go on a pass from Davis to Harden. J.C. Watt is the quarterback. J.C. Watt put it right in the midsection of Stanley Wilson, and he was met by a fired-up Colorado defense led by number 6, Tim Stampley, and by Brad Chase, the strong safety, number 41. No gain, 2nd down and a 10. Oh, I beg your pardon. They did give him 6 yards. I'm looking at the wrong lineage here. They gave him 6 yards, 2nd down and 4. I beg your pardon. This is Watt, and he's run out at the 27 or 28-yard line. Do not make the 1st down. Stampley was over there. He's playing hurt, that cornerback from Maywood, Illinois, Tim Stampley. But it is not a 1st down. They'll spot it at the 28.5. They have to get to the 30.
3rd and short. We look for Doolittle and Humble to try and stack things up. Oklahoma's been going with the 2nd man through on most short yardage situations. Let's see if they stay with the pattern.
Overstreet is in there. This is Watts flipping back to Rhymes. He's got the 1st down and then some. Stepped out of bounds at the 42 or 43-yard line. Rod Butler, the left side outside linebacker, shoved him out over there. But it's enough for a 1st down. The ball was at the 28. They're going to spot it at the 43. It's a 15-yard pickup for Rhymes. And it's a 1st down for the Sooners.
Taller than most running backs, Stu. He's 6'3". He's sucking for air a little bit. It is a little higher up here. He raised his finger at one, a little relief from Galen Hall, but apparently he'll stay in.
They spotted at the 42. Ledbetter. Weldon Ledbetter, met by Bob Humble and by Sandy Armstrong. Inside linebacker in there for Steve Doolittle now.
Humble leads his Buffalo team in tackles, moves along the line of scrimmage and hits with the left shoulder. Boy, that's a good move. He's a good athlete, has done a good job. Both Humble and Doolittle really hold down the spots for the Buffaloes.
A pickup of 4, 2nd and 6. Rhymes, about a yard. That's it. There's a flag down. We had 5 penalties called in the 1st half. 4 were against the Sooners.
Field judge threw the flag that time, John Schroeder out of Manchester, Missouri. We'll wait for the referee, McClintock out of Des Moines, to make the call. Looks like it'll go against the Sooners.
Their 5th penalty. Bring it back to the 39-yard line. And 2nd down, they'll need about 14. Now they're going to re-spot it again. They'll put it on the 41. Okay, guys, we got our act together. Somebody get them a compass. 2nd down and 12. In motion is Wilson. Watt goes the other way, pitches it out on their side. Overstreet. Overstreet is off to the races. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's to the 7-yard line. Overstreet is over 200 yards rushing. Wood and Humble finally got to him along with Chase, but he rolled. Look at it again.
Here's another move. They send the fullback in motion the opposite way. The reason the play goes, Stu, is because the number 40 by Winters, a great lead block. Overstreet carries that ball in the left hand like you're supposed to. Splits the seam right there as Wood can't make the tackle. It's a foot race, and I'll tell you, that is an excellent play, well executed by the Sooners.
55 yards. That run by Overstreet. This is Watts himself. Bubbles the ball in the end zone. Oklahoma falls on it. Overstreet fell on it the way the Sooners' luck goes. The ball went sailing into the end zone. Wilson was there. Valora was there. Somebody else is on the bottom. Let's look at it again.
Watts on the keeper, gets hit right there. The ball just bounces loose. All kinds of people chasing it here. And they compete with each other. And I'm not sure who they finally do give it to.
Well, Valora was there. Bechtold, the center, was there. Going to be a touchdown. We haven't heard the official announcement who they did give it to. But in any case, the Sooners have their 6th touchdown of the afternoon. It is 40-21.
They'll go for 2, Stu, since they missed the extra point, the first one.
Yeah. Watts. At the last minute, he made the old alley-oop flip to Chet Witters. Rod Butler got a piece of it. Extra point effort does not go. And the score will remain 40-21. So it's a 19-point lead.
J.C. Watts is down.
J.C. Watts is rolling on the ground at the 3-yard line. There he is. Took a pretty good hit as he flipped that ball up. Watch it right here. He rolls out here to the right. He's looking, he's trying to cut inside. That's where he gets hit right there. And the ball goes flying up in the air. There's Witters trying to grab it alley-oop style. Down goes Watt.
Well, you can see why he's down, because he hit that AstroTurf, and it is hard, rock hard. And J.C. Watts, the guy who's the leader of this attack, is still down as 3 trainers are working him over. Looks like he's going to be all right. He is getting up, and he just took a pretty good shot on that AstroTurf.
Well, he was shaking his right hand in the first half, like somebody had numbed the circulation, but he appears to be all right. In any case, it is a 40-21 ball game, and now the Sooners will kick off to the Buffaloes. Down by 19 points. Switzer, as coach at OU, is 6-1 against Colorado. He's 1-0 against his former head coach, Chuck Fairbanks, last year. They kick it away from Walter Stanley. Number 32 is coming across the field to the near side. They know that he can burn him. He did already in the first half with a 102-yard return. 99 is Keeling, the man who is doing the kicking, the barefooted kicker from Dallas. So Buffalo now will take, Colorado will take over the ball, 1st and 10. Overstreet, unofficially, 215 yards rushing today. They have given the touchdown recovery to Bechtold, the center, in the end zone. Willie Beebe, but there is a flag down. Beebe is to the 28-yard line. A pickup of 8, but a penalty marker goes down. So credit that touchdown for Oklahoma on the fumble by Watts and the recovery in the end zone to Bill Bechtold, a senior center from Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Willie Beebe runs off that left side, gets a good block from 74. Bob Sebro really stays with it. Beebe, an overachiever, just gives you a day's work. This is a major penalty going against Oklahoma.
Face mask again. That's the 3rd one today called against the Sooners. That's the 6th penalty called against the Sooners. Buffalo's been nailed once for offensive holding way back in the first quarter. Okay, 1st and 10, Colorado at their own 43. Davis is the quarterback. He sends Hawkins in motion. Olander. Good lateral pursuit by Oklahoma's defense. Gary Lowell, who had an interception earlier. Sherdell Breathitt, a strong side linebacker, just strung out the line.
Talk about a tight end staying with a block, Stu. Bob Najolik stays with this block on a good athlete, Weddington. Might be holding a little bit in there.
I think so.
One of the reasons he stays with it pretty well, but Najolik, who has had some injury problems, really does the job there.
Hope he didn't have onions for lunch. Beebe to the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. They need about 7. Mike Coast, linebacker, credited with the stop. The clock shows 11:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. 40-21 is the score. Oklahoma leading Colorado. Davis could not get the pass out, hit by John Blake. A sophomore nose guard from Sandy Springs, Oklahoma, 250 pounds, came in and knocked him down.
Well, you talk about getting your ticket punched. Davis on a little play action wanted to throw the deep post once again after making a couple of fakes. And Blake just blows by his man and drills the littler Davis. Has 35 pounds on him, and he shows it right there.
Kicking situation, Olander back. Banks, deep. Sanji is deep. Fair catch called for by Banks. Fumbled the ball. But he got it back. He lost one earlier today. It cost him points. Doug Cranepool in there. 41-yard punt by Olander. Look at this again.
Normally when you fumble a punt, you do recover it yourself because you know where it's going. The defender coming down has his eyes up, so Banks is able to pop on it. He's had a tough time, Stu.
Yes, he has. All right, Oklahoma will take over for the second time in the second half. They scored on their first possession of this second half. Watts pitching out. Overstreet is off to the races again. Brought down in midfield, this time by Brad Chase. Unless my memory is going bananas, Oklahoma is not punted today.
They have not punted the football today. They attempted a field goal. This is why they are so tough. Winters with that lead block. Here it is, true triple option. The fullback gets involved. Overstreet turns a corner, but Winters has the cornerback on his back. David Overstreet now is up to 243 yards and 15 carries. Give Mr. Winters all the credit in the world because he has been the lead blocker.
I got one for you in a minute. Stay loose. I got a question. Watts. Winters. Fights his way. Gang of Buffalo tacklers at the 37 or 38-yard line. Do you know what the individual NCAA record rushing for a single game is? I believe. First, I'm asking if you know it. I threw this at your goal.
I think it's 315, but
351. And you want to know something? I know the amount, but I can't remember the guy that did it. It's a guy from Michigan State that did it. And I'll think of it in a second. Head down, Ledbetter. Back at the 45. Mark Shoup, big pile up there. Loss on the play. Be about 3rd and 5. Scott Hardison also in there. The reason, we'll look at it again. I'll get to that in a second.
A little mixed up this time as Watts wants to run the option, but there is penetration. They get a leg on him, and Hardison gets a little help and brings him down here.
I did a game one time between USC and Washington State. Ricky Bell gained 347 yards. Was 4 short. And I cannot remember the guy's name from Michigan State. There's a first down for Oklahoma. Ledbetter gets it. Humble makes the hit. I can't remember the kid's name from Michigan State that has the record for the most yardage gained in an afternoon of rushing in college football.
Is that some stat, though? 351?
Kid had to be tired.
I saw Charlie Davis get over 200 on this field. Billy Sims has been there.
Yeah.
Of course, Overstreet with just, 9:32 left in the third period. He's got some super totals already.
First down, Oklahoma. They're at the 36-yard line. Winters in motion. Pitch back Overstreet. Good open field tackle in there by Stan Horning. Defensive end, right side, only a sophomore. Stratton, Colorado.
Stratton, Colorado, just a little bitty town, and Horning has done a good job out there. Big Stan makes the play. This is the toss sweep as they try to cut it up quick. Overstreet has been very effective outside on the option. The toss sweep has just been so-so. Horning makes a fine effort and a good play.
Just under 9 minutes to play third quarter. 40-21 is the score. Oklahoma leading. Oklahoma with the football. Watts. Overstreet, 15, 10, 5, forget about it. 36-yard touchdown play. Watts to Overstreet. And the Sooners get 6 more.
Well, that's where Oklahoma just kills us, Stu. They run it. Here's Overstreet coming back. This time, watch this rolls out. Overstreet sneaks out wide open. coverage is blown there. It was not play action, just straight sprint type pass.
There was a freshman linebacker right there, 54. Sandy Armstrong out of L.A. They're learning. There's Overstreet coming back. What an afternoon he's had. Over 235, 40 yards rushing. Just caught a touchdown pass, 36 yards. Healing's extra point effort gets him another one. It's a 47-21 ball game now, as the Sooners are starting to pull away. They've scored both touchdowns in the second half. Score at halftime was only 34-21. This gives us an opportunity to remind you of some of the wonderful events that are coming off on ESPN. And a lot of top football games coming up. For instance, next Saturday, Texas A&M tries to knock off the Cotton Bowl champion of last year, the Southwest Conference rival, Houston. Herb Brown and yours truly, Stu Nahan, will be on hand from the Astrodome next Saturday night to bring you that one on ESPN. Next Saturday, Michigan State and Michigan, Big Ten matchup. Georgia Bulldogs with their phenomenal Herschel Walker going against Mississippi. Alabama, one of the top 10, going against Rutgers at New York's Meadowlands. Pittsburgh goes against Florida State. There are 5 big NCAA football games next weekend on your Total Sports Network.
I saw Hugh Green last year. We did a ball game for ESPN. That has got to be the best defensive football player in the nation. I couldn't believe the things that he did. He'd line up at a tackle, talking about number 99 for Pittsburgh. He'd line up at a defensive end. He'd play a backer in a 5-2 setup. And I'll tell you, if they stayed in bounds, Mr. Nahan, he would find them and make the play.
Didn't they have a picture of the front page of cover of Sports Illustrated with a panther on his shoulder?
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Yeah. 71 yards, 6 plays, took them 2.5 minutes to score that touchdown. Talking about Oklahoma. Over the head of Walter Stanley. Pretty good kickoff for Keeling. Touchback, come back out to the 20, and that's where the Colorado Buffaloes will put the ball into play. 47-21 Oklahoma. This is the first Big 8 game of the season for both teams. Oklahoma still smarting over that upset loss to Stanford last week. They don't have a score of that game yet because it's being played on the West Coast, but you got father again going against son out there. Stanford's young Elway going against San Jose, which is coached by San Jose State, coached by his dad. Brought down there by Jim Jones, a senior defensive tackle from Turpin, Oklahoma.
You mentioned Jack Elway Jr. I saw him in high school. That's the best-looking kid I've ever seen. He'd take his shirt off. He looks like a Greek god. I have never seen a better-looking kid.
Went to school out in the San Fernando Valley, Granada Hills High School.
Oh, yeah, and everybody and his brother recruited him. He's something.
There, Oklahoma closing the gap right there at the 25-yard line on Lance Olander. Jim Jones again leading the stop along with Steve Whaley. This Oklahoma defense at the half had held Oklahoma to only held Colorado to only 21 yards rushing.
They have really been tough against the rush. They did the job against Kentucky and against Stanford. Stanford, they just got riddled, the young secondary. The guy we were talking about, Elway, just ate him alive. Flags are down. The play continues. The pass is completed to 30. Still on his feet is Harden. Finally ran out of bounds, so we'll have to wait and see against whom the penalty was called. Well, it's against Harden. Harden jumped. The Buffaloes know that. They're staying at the 25-yard line. Harden just got a little excited and just moved the account early.
So the whole play will go for naught. Colorado has been penalized today. We have 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this third quarter. The attendance has just been announced. 50,217. It's a little bit less than capacity. Folsom Field holds about 52.
Barry's just kind of relaxed.
Yeah. 3rd and 10. Every time he's got to throw that ball. Give me some help. A diving try to 37 is incomplete by Olander. Charlie Davis was saying, somebody come back. Somebody get clear. There's Olander coming back. 4th down. And again, Buffalo will have to punt. How many punts has Olander had today? This is number 6 coming up. Darryl Sanji and Steve Hayworth back on their own 40-yard line. Oklahoma ought to have pretty good field position after this kick. Sanji back on the 29. Flags down. They say his knee went down. That's the 2nd time. It's a 52-yard punt. Now, earlier in the game, Banks was the receiver, and he did not put his knee down. I don't know whether we got this or not. And I don't want to be accused of getting on the officials when I got one sitting next to me up here. But I want to see if we... Let's see. Tell me. Tell me.
Well, let's see. Yeah,
I don't
no
see that.
question.
There is some daylight between that knee and the ground.
Stu, you wear glasses. You're a long way away.
1st and 10, Oklahoma. Big pile up at the center. Carrying the ball, Gilbert Young. Making the stop, Mark DeRose, a sophomore linebacker out of Pueblo, now making his first appearance.
New quarterback is Darryl Shepard, number 8. The book on Darryl, an extremely tough runner, has not thrown the ball well. Shepard is 5'11", 180, a junior.
He's from Odessa, Texas. Pitching over to Herbert Young. Young's got himself a first down. At the 41 or 42, Brad Chase, Gabe Chase. And there's Herbert Young out of Garland, Texas. Back up to David Overstreet. You wonder what he's got to be thinking. When do I get in the ball game?
Herbert Young splits the seam this time. The Sooners have really made the option go today. They've kind of gotten away from it the last couple of games, and they came back and ran the option. Made it look good. Very tough today.
6 minutes, 17 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. It's 47-21 Oklahoma. We've got a flag down. We've got a whistle anyway. Too much time. Delay the game.
They had a procedure penalty. I'm not sure just exactly what the Sooners did wrong. You know, they get off the mark so quick. Many times they're moving a little bit into a running start, and occasionally they get called. That time, apparently that's what the call was.
Shepard. He's off to the races. 45. One man to chase him. He may go. Fumbles the football, picks it up, goes into the end zone, scores a touchdown. Little was the only man that had a shot at it. He got the perfect basketball bounce when it came up to him, and he scores. They fumbled one earlier. Watts fumbled the ball into the end zone, and the center recovered. Here the other quarterback fumbles the ball, and he gets the bounce. 63 yards on the touchdown run by the backup quarterback.
Well, this bounce is something to see. He's all off his knees, Stu, and it's a perfect bounce. How many times do you see that? The second bounce, Shepard, who can run like a deer, just what the book said.
You got to spend years learning how to fumble that ball so it bounces and comes right back up at you. That is the 8th touchdown for Oklahoma. Chuck Fairbanks is now saying, I don't know what he's saying. I'd rather not repeat it at this time.
Well, I tell you, There's no question Shepard had himself a touchdown, but he dropped the football. Colorado had a chance to get it right back to him.
It's up. It's good. Oklahoma leads 53-21 with 6 minutes.
The kick is good. 54-21. 72-yard drive. 4 plays. 63 yards to run by the backup quarterback, Darrell Shepard, who fumbled en route, and they got the pickup. Plays like this happen. You send somebody else out to start your car at night when this game is over. And some of the bare-chested rooters here at Colorado a little bit unhappy now about the turn of events here. A lot of Sooner fans in attendance. We can promise you the air is going to be filled with a lot of footballs this Wednesday, October the 8th. Canadian Football League. There it is, Edmonton versus Winnipeg. Warren Moon and Tom Wilkinson, 2 quarterbacks that like to throw that ball. Meeting Dita Brock, who likes to throw it for Winnipeg. 7:30 Eastern Time, the Canadian Football League, right here on ESPN. Oklahoma will kick off now with 6 minutes and 6 seconds to play in this ball game. They led by a score of 34-21 going into this third quarter. They have scored 3 times. Ball bouncing over the head of Walter Stanley. Colorado has been shut out so far in this third quarter. Meanwhile, Oklahoma has put 20 points on the board. Randy Essington comes in again at quarterback. He was in there in the first half, and I think he threw a pass on every offensive play in which he was in there. I think it was 8 plays.
Sid Gilman really high on this youngster. He's the one who sent him here when USI dropped football. 3 for 9, 25 yards. We look for him to put it up again.
Nothing to lose if you do. First running play with Essington. It was Vic James. Stopped at the 20-yard line by Jim Jones. Essington, 6'3", 205, a freshman out of Whittier. They spot the ball. They say he touched down to the 18, so a loss of 2 on the play. Second down to 12. Kelly Johnson splits wide left side. They send a man in motion. Essington looking for him. Throws and completes over here to Lindell Hawkins, a wingback from Latham, California. And that should get him close to a first down, a little bit short. About the 28, they have to get just short of the 20 of the 30.
Buffalo's put Stanley in motion to overload the weak side, put 3 receivers out on the flank, and Essington is able to hit it. Here's Essington again. Straight sprint action, gets the block from the fullback, slipping out of the backfield, able to make the play easily for the good yardage.
Johnson goes out. Steve Jones, number 7, is in there as a wide receiver at the top of the screen now. That's Walter Stanley, freshman from Chicago, the 31. Got the first down. They needed 2, and he got about 3 or 4. But he's down.
There's this pretty interesting story there in the Big 8.
Oklahoma, always a perennial power in the Big 8. Has been for years. What was that win streak they had? 47 in a row at one time. Late 40s, early 50s. Essington throws at it. Hands to Stanley and he'll score. Sanji got a hand on it, tipped it into the hands of Walter Stanley, and he's got his second touch in the afternoon.
Well, the crowd is still with this ball club. You run a tip play every day for the defenders. In this case, it pays off for the offense. As Sanji, as you mentioned, Stu, got a hand on it. Stanley, the right man in the right place, had just gone out because of an injury, and he makes the play.
Here it is again. Stanley is in motion near side. Essington goes right. Goes a bullet. There's the tip. There's the catch. And there's the 6 points. It is now 54-27. Colorado wants to call for a timeout. Stanley has caught 2 passes, 54 yards, and the Buffaloes want to call time. It's a team. Sure, he won't be out of work long.
Yeah. Let's be out.
They're going to go for the sure 1-pointer. Tom Field to kick. Larry Little to hold. Flag is down. The kick is good. And the penalty is against. Boom. Offside, Oklahoma. The kick is good. So, with 3 minutes and 4 seconds to be played in this 3rd quarter, Oklahoma now has 54. Colorado has 28. There were some who thought Colorado wouldn't be able to score in Oklahoma. They got 28 points.
And the problem with the Buffaloes, and it's been a problem this year, is to shut off the other ball club. Gave up a lot of points to UCLA, a lot of points to Indiana. Clifford came into Boulder and really threw the ball well against him. CU has moved the ball all year long, have not moved the ball on the ground today against Oklahoma, but that's understandable, Stu. It's just an excellent defense. But they've come up with some big plays, and they've made it interesting. They're not really in the football game, but it's been an interesting go.
How many points Oklahoma give up to Stanford last week? 31?
Yep.
Give up 28 today. That's 59 points in 2 games. Just the switcher's not got to be. There's Berry. Cannot be happy about that.
Well, you know, talking to Berry, people feel that, you know, he is nowhere near satisfied. This ball club has potential, but they've made a lot of mistakes. I mentioned against Stanford.
Shepard had a 63-yard touchdown run, including a bouncing basketball on the way down there. It bounced once, fumbled it, picked it up, and kept right on going. Overstreet is in motion. Handoff goes to Wilson. And Stanley able to knife his way out to the 26 to 27-yard line. Got a first down. Mark DeRose, a sophomore linebacker out of Pueblo, made the hit. First down, Oklahoma. 11-yard pickup. First downs. God, Oklahoma's got to have a mess of them. They had 20 at the end of the first half. Colorado had 7. Wilson, but hanging on, bringing them down around the ankles. The tackle by Sandy Armstrong, who was beaten on that touchdown play a little while ago. Freshman, he'll learn.
Sandy Armstrong is an excellent prospect. We're talking to Doug Knotts, the defensive coordinator, who's had some awfully good players at Tennessee and at Florida. He feels Armstrong has got as good a potential as anybody.
They spot the ball to the 35. 27 first downs for Oklahoma now. Overstreet. There he goes. Larry Little had a piece of his jersey, otherwise he was gone. The junior from Edgewater, Colorado, Larry Lillo saved one there. Watch.
Once again, Galen Hall really sets things up. He's been running the fullback. This time it's a second man through Overstreet. And as you point out, Stu, Lillo saves a touchdown. Overstreet does not put the ball in the left hand this time. Could have gotten a knock loose. And somehow, grabbing that jersey, Lillo was strong enough to bring Overstreet down. Does save the touch.
Overstreet got 22 more. We'll give you his total stats for the afternoon in a moment. At the 41, the pitch goes to Rhymes. He's had 3 touchdowns today already, and he's off to the races, to the 20, to the 10, inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 7-yard line. Lillo saved it there. Brad Chase came along. Another 30-some yards run off there by George Rhymes.
What a move. Rhymes stuck on Brad Chase initially. Chase, to his credit, did not give up and was involved in the pursuit. It got the job done, finally made the play. But what a move. Watch Rhymes duck in and out. Chase loses his balance about the 28-yard line. And then Rhymes in a foot race, and Chase is back to make the play.
There is Rhymes for 106. Overstreet's got 262 yards. There's Overstreet right there, sitting down, resting.
David Overstreet has been a blocker for 2 years at the University of Oklahoma. All of a sudden gets his opportunity, and he is something. 17 carries, 265 yards.
Ball is now on the 4-yard line. It is second down and goal for Oklahoma, leading 54-28. 45 seconds to go, third quarter. Rhymes with his 4th touchdown. Great deceptive ball handling. The fake was to Wilson. The give was to Rhymes. And that's his 4th of the afternoon.
That's something for that little freshman. The University of Colorado felt they had this guy. He can play. Oklahoma shows you how to run the option. They stick it in the fullback's belly, read the defensive end, pull it out, and Watts either keeps. In this case, he pitches to this man, number 4, Rhymes, and it's cake.
Here it is again. There's the fake to Wilson. Goes over here to Rhymes. He's got the football all by himself. 110 yards for that young man, plus 4 touches. Keeling's got to be having a sore foot for all these extra point efforts. 61 for Oklahoma now.
Stu, this brings up a point. Barry Switzer and Chuck Fairbanks are very close. And Barry really doesn't want to shell Chuck. But, you know, how are you going to hold these backs down? You put those second-team backs. No, hey, listen, they want all they get. We saw the freshman, or the backup quarterback, I should say, Darrell Shepard run for 6 in his only running attempt. So it's going to be very hard to hold this thing down. And they are very close. Switzer and Fairbanks before the ball game, a nice visit. It's going to be tough to hold this baby down. Oklahoma's got that much talent on the backup people.
Kelly Johnson is the deep man now. There's Barry Switzer, and there's Chuck Fairbanks. Long time, close friends, close associates. 80-yard drive, 6 plays. Rhymes from 4 yards out. Took it in. He's got 4 touchdowns. The man that starts in front of him at left half, Jeff Winters, has 2. Overstreet is scored on a receiving end of a touchdown pass.
You know, Stu, Rhymes has got a different body than most running backs you see. He's a little longer, a little taller. Isn't that something? 584 rushing. Oh.
To only 41.
That is a season's work for many ball clubs.
41 yards rushing and 28 points on the board for Colorado is a little bit of a stress. They got only as many points as they got yards rushing. Kelly Johnson says, you stay right there. Record.
In 1974, Oklahoma picked up 594 yards in Boulder. 68 carries. Yeah.
Keeling kicks him off. Oklahoma. We've got 35 seconds to play the third quarter. 10 touchdowns. All right, 9 touchdowns. Essington. Intended for Nijolik. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Best individual day against the University of Colorado in Boulder in November of '78. Billy Sims, 221 yards rushing.
The last time that Oklahoma lost to Colorado here was 1976, and that was a barn burner. It was something like 42-31 or 45-31. Fairbanks was then coaching at New England. Stanley in motion, flags down before the ball can be snapped. Delay of the game call against Colorado. 30 seconds to play, third quarter. At halftime, it was 34-21 in favor of Oklahoma. It is 61-28. Colorado has scored 4 touchdowns. Oklahoma has scored 9. That's 13 touchdowns, and we have played almost 45 minutes. 1 every 3 minutes.
Light them up.
Essington wide open. Mr. Stanley. First down at the 25. Late hit called against Gary Lowell, number 25.
Walter Stanley will get you excited a little bit. The fans, even though the Buffaloes are behind, are still staying with this club. Here's Stanley giving them all the shakes and all the movement that you want to see. And here's the late hit right here as a couple of Sooners get there just a shade late. Stu, one thing that, you know, I wonder what we were missing here today. Oklahoma usually brings in the covered wagon and the guns. You know, you've done games at Norman and caught them on the road, and they're not here today. Every time they score a touchdown, I'm not sure. Maybe they
wouldn't get them into the state.
Maybe that's it. But they'll shoot the guns and they'll bring the wagon out. It's a great tradition. I tell you, it's something to see a football game down there. That is, you talk about tradition. It's there.
First and 10, Colorado with the penalty for the late hit. Moves the ball out to the 40-yard line. Essington is the quarterback. Super catch, dropped the ball, picked it up again. Vic James, it'll be a completion. Oh, somewhere around the Oklahoma 30.
James had control of the football, and the official ruled that he was down. The fumble came afterward. That was a fine throw by Essington. That's the end of the third quarter. Gary Lowell's getting an opportunity to play because of injuries in the secondary. He's one-on-one here. I beg your pardon, he's in zone coverage. And, boy, I tell you, this is just a fine throw and a fine catch.
Lowell's the man that was the one who was tagged for the late hit a moment ago. That's the end of the third quarter. The score at the end of the third quarter of play here at Folsom Field. Oklahoma has 61. Colorado has 28. We begin the fourth and final quarter of play. Along with Herb Brown, I'm Stu Nahan. We're at Boulder, Colorado. Boulder trying to get out there. The Colorado Buffaloes trying to get on the scoreboard again if they possibly can. That 33-yard pass to the young wide wingback, Vic James. That's Willie Beebe who carried, stopped by Mike Weddington. Essington now has completed 6 out of 13 for 78 yards since he came on to replace Charlie Davis. Colorado has a second down and 7 on the Oklahoma 24-yard line. We've just begun the fourth quarter of play. Beebe going wide. Good tackle in the open there by Jackie Shipp, S-H-I-P-P, number 49. Shipp is a freshman out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. He's a backup linebacker.
Shipp shows you the lateral movement that's needed if you're going to play in college defense this day and age. He just moves over, makes a fine hit, does his job.
The ball was short of by a yard of a first down. 3rd and 1. Olander. First down and then some. 10-5. Down to about the 3. First and goal to go, Colorado. Brian Paul with the tackle on Olander as he broke a couple of tackles. They try to string him out, stretch it out along the line. Lance Olander, Mr. Everything, and punting like a fire ant here.
Just a Green Bay sweep. Number 60, Ray Cohn, a converted fullback and linebacker, makes a great block right there. Lance Olander runs hard. The youngster from Arapahoe High School has been an all-purpose back, and he takes the Buffaloes down close to the goal.
We're at the 3-yard line. Will he break the play? Nope. Close, but no cigar. Benson in there as Essington tried to sneak it himself. But Benson was there. That's Thomas Benson, a freshman linebacker from Ardmore, Oklahoma, number 38, backing up for Thet.
You know that Olander has never scored a touchdown rushing.
Is that right?
And that's something the youngster has gotten on the board in other ways, but he's never scored rushing. Let's see if they give him the call.
Essington is in. Touchdown.
That's a play more and more teams are going to, Stu. When you get down to the goal line defense, 6-5 gap defense, or whatever you're using, the linemen submarine, and then the backers stack things up high. You get no chance when your quarterback sneak.
We have our 14th touchdown of the afternoon. This highly played defensive contest as Essington takes it in for the 1.
Done a good job all day by 51 Rich Humphrey. Ray Cohn's in there. Doug Cranebull, just a big mass. But this sneak really has become the play, even though your quarterback isn't as good a runner. It doesn't give the backer time.
Middle of the hole, Field to try the extra point. He's got another point. So it's a 61-35 ball game. Oklahoma on top. That's 96 points have been registered in this football game today.
Boy, that is really something when you think about it.
Somebody get an adding machine. 80-yard drive, 8 plays. Took them 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 13 seconds to do it. The quarterback Essington took it in himself. Did you tell me Olander has never
scored a touchdown rushing at the University of Colorado?
ESPN gets you ready for every big weekend of the college football season. ESPN's College Football Review. Jim Simpson, Bill Wilkinson, every Friday night at 8 p.m. Bud Jim get together. That's 5 p.m. Pacific time. Nobody knows the football scene and the college scene any better than these two fellas. And they bring you, along with ESPN, over 400 hours, the best college football during the 1980 season along. So every Friday night, right here on ESPN, Jim Simpson, Bud Wilkinson, College Football Preview.
Lance Olander getting a well-deserved rest. He's played very hard today. You know, Stu, the most points scored in a losing effort, 35 versus the Air Force by the University of Colorado in 1968, 58-35 that particular day. So they equaled that.
They've just equaled that. Usually 35 points to win a ball game for you. Field kicking off. It's going to be short. Trying to run it out. And some of the fans wonder, why didn't you run it out, Walker?
I'll see you down there Sunday.
First and 10, Oklahoma. They'll have the ball at their own 20-yard line. We've had everything today. We've had 4 touchdowns by a backup halfback named George Rhymes. We've had a backup quarterback for Oklahoma run that ball 63 yards, fumbled on the way down. There's the scoring drive. Colorado. We had a tip of a ball from a D-back into the hands of a receiver. Had a 102-yard kickoff return by Colorado. Been a wild afternoon. Fumble. Fallen upon immediately by Darrell Shepard. He was fallen upon by Terry Irvin.
Well, these ball clubs have topped the record for the highest scoring game in the history of this field. 91, Colorado and the Air Force, that same ball game we were talking about.
What was the most before?
91.
91.
Topped it.
61-35 is the score. Oklahoma out in front. Oklahoma has their backup quarterback, Darrell Shepard from Odessa, Texas. All he did was run 63 yards for a touchdown when he came in to replace J.C. Watt. Fumble here. Shepard gets this one. The pitch out from Shepard to Overstreet. Not right on the mark. Let's see it again.
Well, Shepard throws the football, does not lead him on the right side, actually hits him on the left side. It wasn't that bad a pitch, though. Overstreet just dropped it. Are you surprised that Overstreet is in here?
I'm surprised he's in there now, yeah. I thought they would go with Herbert Young and maybe Ledbetter, unless something's wrong with Young.
I don't know if it's 24 hours.
Oklahoma has fumbled the ball 7 times. They've lost it twice. They've been able to recover 5 of their fumbles. This is Shepard off to the races. You'll never get him. He's gone. This is going to be a 90-yard touchdown run.
And he pulled a hamstring going up that hill on the play.
Yes, he did. Terry Irvin was the only man that had a shot at him. You can see him holding his left hamstring there.
That's too bad because the youngster really made a great run. It's really a shame. That's the embankment going up in the end zone, and they're calling for the trainer. Boy, I tell you, he just exploded there. Chuck Fairbanks very upset on that play, taking a look at him on the sideline, as well as Doug Knotts, the defensive coordinator. There was no pursuit, Stu. There was only 2 people that really chased Shepard. The rest of the folks just stayed around the 25-yard line.
All right, 90 yards on that one and 63 on the other. That's 173 yards in 2 plays for Shepard.
Well, you know, the book on him is he could run like a deer, has a little trouble throwing the football because you don't have to throw when you run like that.
153 yards.
Shepard, they actually, I believe they wanted to throw it to Overstreet, to pitch to Overstreet from the wing, and Shepard just gets a good block, cuts upfield, and there's no pursuit at all. This thing just opened up, and boy, he knows right away he's going to score. One guy gives chase, and just kind of taunting him going down the sideline, and you just don't see any black shirts, and you just don't see a play like that. There ought to be some folks chasing. There's the pull. Chuck Fairbanks will visit with his ball club about that, because that's one thing you don't want to do is just die. No matter what the score is, you've got to go out and chase it.
Gilling's try for the extra point is good. Got to get the adding machine out. It is now 68 to 35. And we've had 15 touchdowns scored in this ball game. Anybody know the record?
Oh, man, I ain't never pulled up in my life, really.
We'll see if we can find that one, too, the most TDs.
So Shepard goes 90 yards.
That is incredible. That is total yardage.
788 yards total yardage for Oklahoma. 222. That's over 1,000 yards. I got to tell you, I believe when that Oklahoma beat Colorado here in 76, 45 to 31, it was over 700 yards total between the 2 teams. Oklahoma's got over 700 by one team here.
Well, they have really come up with a home run today, and boy, the Shepard kid, talk about a rushing average.
153 yards and 2 carries.
How many times have you seen a youngster come up with a hamstring after a long run like that? That's just a straight. You know, Barry Sweats is
worried now. He feels he's embarrassed.
He is, and that's right. That's exactly what he's thinking. He doesn't want to do it, and yet, how do you call these people off unless you just lay on the football, and that embarrasses the guy across the way even more.
He realizes this now. You can just sense. We're not trying to read somebody's mind now, but a little drama here. Keeling. Kelly Johnson's going to run this one out to the 18-yard line. Stopped there by Sanji. What do you
Total
got?
offense, 670 yards, Oklahoma in 1971.
So hit by Scott Hardison. Picked up 6, second down, 9. Jim Rockford, wide receiver out of Springfield, Illinois. Number 2 is in there now. Near side. Quick opener as Barry Switzer's gone to his bench now, and Jerome Ledbetter of Muskogee, Oklahoma.
I kind of like him. In fact, there was some sentiment that Ledbetter might take the fullback spot, move Stanley Wilson to a halfback. Ledbetter's just a pretty good athlete.
That's the other Ledbetter.
I beg your pardon. We've got 2 Ledbetters.
There's a Wilson Ledbetter who's a running back, and there's a Jerome Ledbetter who's a running back also. There's 2 of them, but I don't think they're related. One's from Muskogee, and the other one's from St. Louis. There goes Pegas.
Speed at the quarterback spot really pays off. Pegas steps out of bounds, but he picks up good yardage.
P-E-G-U-E-S. He's 5'11", 190 pounder, just a sophomore.
Boy, he turns the corner pretty good, Stu. Does have the ball in the right hand, and they take a shot at it. Steps out of bounds right about there. He can fly.
He was a halfback, went to quarterbacking, normally is a halfback. Royce Coleman, backup sophomore fullback from Plainview, Texas, stopped by Cleon Braun. And if you're hearing some strange names that we're throwing at you right now, it's because Barry Switzer, close friend of Chuck Fairbanks and a sportsman besides, doesn't want to run up this score. And he's trying to go to get everybody in there that he possibly can.
One of the toughest things to do, Stu, is not to shell somebody when you got it going.
A pretty good defensive play there for Colorado. Made on the quarterback, Pegas. Turned in there by Terry Irvin, backup quarterback.
The point I'm trying to make, Colorado's got some tired defensive people in there. Even though Oklahoma's down and maybe they're third stringers in some spots, they still are fresh and the adrenaline is flowing. It's really hard to keep it down. And believe me, Barry Switzer does not want this to happen, but it's going to be tough to keep it down.
3rd and 10. Pegas himself is gone. He'll score. A 43-yard touchdown run by the backup. And look at head coach Barry Switzer.
It looked like dejection, actually.
He looks like somebody scored against him.
He's embarrassed because, you know, the shoe can be on the other foot, so he knows it. And it's just one of those things. That is the total offensive record for NCAA, according to my figures.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
And, you know, the point here, Stu, that we're trying to make, and Chuck Fairbanks knows that Barry isn't trying to run it up. He's got some other people in there. How do you stop enthusiasm like a Pegas just showed? You don't.
Keeling's extra point puts the 75th point on the board. It is 75-35, Oklahoma. That is 110 points that have been scored in this football game. Oklahoma has scored 12 touchdowns. Colorado has scored 7 touchdowns. Now, I don't care what you say. That's 19 touchdowns.
That's right.
Am I right on that?
Get no argument here, Stu.
Am I right? Is that right? It's just I'm asking myself because it doesn't seem right. No, it's 12 and 5. Look at this. A major college record has just been set by the Sooners of Oklahoma. 851 total yards. The old record, 833.
And when we took a look at the sideline as our camera took a shot, it looked like the guy who's winning was getting beat because he's going through something. He really is going through something this afternoon. It's not what he wanted. You want to win impressively because there are things like ratings, but you don't want to destroy somebody. And unfortunately, you know, when you run up 75, boy, that is destruction.
Don't take any prisoners. There is Chuck Fairbanks on the sidelines. He knows his team is getting the whalings kicked out of him. He knows that his close friend on the other side, Barry Switzer, is not trying to run it up against him. If there was anything they could do, they'd cancel the doggone football game and go home right now.
Well,
why pour it on?
College baseball, you have a 10-run rule after 5.
That's right. If there's a 10-run difference in college baseball, after 5 innings, the game is over. I mean, why?
I've seen basketball teams stall to keep another team from getting 100, but there's nothing you can do in football when you got the type of speed we have just seen. That the 2 backup quarterbacks from Oklahoma have run the option, I believe, 4 times and kept it and scored scored twice and had one extremely long run.
6 minutes to play in the game. Essington gives to Stanley. Now, here's where you get some character. The Colorado Ball Club, hopelessly out of it. They're down by 40 points. Time is called. We've got another injured Colorado player on the field. They're down by 40 points. They were in it early. They were down by 13 at the half, after twice being down by only 7. I saw that kid just now run with that football. Number 32, Walter Stanley. You'd never know he was 40 points down the way he was running with that football.
That's a good point.
You build character in these
Lower
games.
the boom.
You build character.
Shadows on that field.
Yeah, they're coming from behind us from the west over here to the left-hand side. The injured player for the Buffaloes walking off the field in his own power is Ray Cohn, the offensive guard out of Edgewater, Colorado. Went to Jefferson High School. Ball is at the 18-yard line. It is 2nd down and 12. Essington is hit as he throws. Essington was level as he threw, and the man that came in there and really threw one at him was Rick Bryan. He normally plays tight end. He's out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, which is outside of Tulsa.
One of the reasons why the score is mounted, too, is Chuck Fairbanks is not just running the football to eat up some time. He's still trying to do some things that will help him the rest of the year, and he's throwing.
Hey, Switch has got guys who are normally offensive players playing defense right now. That number 80 that just leveled the quarterback is a tight end. Great strike. Great scoop. Now he brought down the 35-yard line. He's an exciting runner. Brought down by Dwight Green. He's a freshman free safety out of Miami, Florida, number 33.
Stanley's going to be a dandy for Chuck Fairbanks. They went out and recruited speed. Got a lot of young kids that can run. Stanley the fastest. Here's a screen, a very late developing screen, well executed. It's hard to read. Stanley gets a good open field tackle here from Drain, or else he is gone. That is a fine hit.
Colorado calls the timeout. There's the story on backup quarterback Randy Essington, who came in here with Charles Davis, unable to move the club at all. He himself, Essington, has scored a touchdown. He's talking over there on the far sidelines. Chuck Fairbanks. There's the time remaining. 75-35. At halftime, as we mentioned, it was 34-21, which means that there have been 41 points scored by Oklahoma in this third quarter, in this last half. 14 points for Colorado. It's been a 41-14 second half. There were 50,000 plus until things got out of hand in the third quarter. Now, maybe half are still here. Maybe 30,000 are still here. Essington airs one out and overthrows. Way over there in the far sidelines. The pass was intended for Victor James. That was a 1st and 10 pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 now.
Colorado still trying to hit in between the zone coverage of the corner and the safety. And that time Essington was off the target as the ball does go out of bounds.
Clock stop with 4:45 remaining. It's 2nd down, and there are 10 to go. Essington, quick one over the middle, complete. Knocked out of bounds. The pass will be complete to Lindell Hawkins. He was stripped of the ball as he started to go by Thomas Benson. But he had possession before being flipped out.
Hawkins on a delay from his wingback spot, a crossing pattern. Colorado has been effective with this play. Catches the ball, and he'll run toward the sidelines. When the hit is made, the ball will bounce away from him. There's the hit. The ball being carried in the right arm rather than the left. Fortunately for Colorado, it goes out of bounds.
1st and 10 now at the 47. Essington egging. Guy Egging, who's in there now as a fullback. for Colorado. He is a freshman. He is from Broomfield, Colorado.
Heavily recruited, Stu, by most of the major schools in the country. Egging chose to stay at home. They feel he's going to be a fine one. Was an I-back in high school, and they've moved him to fullback here.
When you get into a game like this, it's like a preseason NFL game. You got 75 guys getting into the game for each team.
That's right.
Hey, what's the holding?
Essington's pass incomplete. Flag is down. There's a holding call going to be made back here on the 40-yard line. Sanders, I believe, is holding up the would-be receiver, and Essington is shaken up.
Steve Jones is the guy they're trying to throw to as Essington is down and the trainers attend to. Stu, I got to believe that Barry Switzer on the sideline is thinking now, I hope Chuck gets in for one, make it a little more respectable. I really have to believe, just watching his reaction, that if they get in for another one here, it isn't going to hurt his feelings a bit.
You lose a young, promising quarterback like this, at a time like this, the game means nothing.
Well, that's right. It's unfortunate if he is hurt bad. It looks like a knee. The trainer is Ted Lane, and he is looking at the right knee, it appears.
Isn't there an NCAA rule how many guys you can take now? Was it 55
I think
players?
you travel 55. Yeah, now at home, of course, I believe you can shoot up more.
But 55 is all you can take.
So Oklahoma is forced to play with third-teamers, whereas they might want to go further down the depth chart.
Essington lying in pain to the right of your picture.
That's the head coach out there with him, too, Chuck Fairbanks, very concerned, and a bad break because Essington has shown he has the ability to throw the football.
He's going to try and get up now. No. They're going to put a temporary splint on his right knee. I can see it now, trying to stretch that leg out. That's his story. 11 out of 23 for 182 yards. Young man who started his college career at United States International, USI, which is a school down in the San Diego area. Sid Gilman saw him down there, recommended him. USI doesn't play football. USI used to be called Cal Western.
Cal Western.
Cal Western University.
You know, you talk about Sid Gilman. Most of the ideas that when you talk to football coaches around the country about offense, they somehow attribute to Sid Gilman in some type of way. Unfortunately, Essington is up. They're helping him off, and
he's walking off. Can't put too much weight on that right foot, but he's
crowd likes him. They like what they saw of his passing. But, you know, we were mentioning Gilman. You know, the one time I had a chance to be with Sid Gilman, he was drawing plays on the tablecloth, and he's just constantly working that mind, and now he's back in the game.
With the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's with Dick Vermeil.
Dick Vermeil, right. Very happy.
Yes.
Very happy.
Some guys can never get coaching out of their systems, and I think Sid Gilman's one of them.
We saw a piece on one of the network pregame shows here today. Very happy doing what he's doing. First down. On a reverse. Now a lateral. The old razzle-dazzle. And Charles Davis wound up with the football, the quarterback.
How about that one?
Hey. I'd like to know how that one, what book did that come from? Let's look at it
here
again.
Davis will hand to his running back, who will hand to Parker. Here we go.
Davis.
Here's
this
Davis.
Is Stanley. Now to Parker.
All right, now here's the option. This is an option on the end of it. So Charles Davis, who started the play, I'll tell you what, Stu, you know, we've had
I don't know whether that was designed or not.
Well, I think it was, the way he handled it. I think that is the option. Even though it's 75-35, we've had a little bit of everything, and it hadn't been dull.
3:44 to go in the game. On a draw. Egging. Ball popped out of his hands, went out of bounds. Nobody had possession. It's still Colorado's ball. Be around the 17 or 18-yard line.
What a collision between Egging and Jackie Shipp as they really took each other on. I'm not sure who got the best of it. Egging kind of ran over him, but Shipp caused the fumble. The ball does bounce out of bounds. That's good contact by a couple of young players. The draw, Egging, Broomfield, Colorado, has good acceleration. That's one of the things he does well. Watch this collision. Boom, right now. That's good hitting.
Ball at the 16-yard line now. The fake. The pass. In the end zone. Touchdown. Steve Jones made the catch for Colorado. He is a sophomore split end from Los Angeles. And that, friends and neighbors, is the 6th touchdown for Colorado. That is the 18th touchdown. I don't believe what I'm saying. That's the 18th touchdown in this football game.
Throws a honey right on the numbers. Jones, the previous man,